Ever since I've started training, I've always wanted huge arms, but the problem was, no matter how many times I did bicep curls in my room, they would never grow. But this all changed when I found out how to properly train my arms, and by 15, my arms went from looking like this to looking like this, and today I want to show you exactly how I did it. The arms are a very simple muscle group to develop, and can be split into 3 parts: the biceps, the triceps, and the forearm. Let's talk about how to train your biceps first. A common misconception about the bicep is that you need 10 different variations of bicep curls to get them to grow, but that's not true. The bicep is made up of 2 heads: the short head, which is responsible for making your arms look more full in your t-shirts, and the long head, which is responsible for giving you that peak in your bicep. This means we only need to do 2 exercises to grow the bicep. To train the short head of our bicep, we need to have our elbows out in front of us and have our arms pointing across our body. So doing concentration curls are without a doubt the best way to grow the short head of your bicep. But just remember, try not to use your knee as leverage and never swing the weight while doing these. Now to train the long head of your bicep, you have to do the complete opposite, having your elbows behind you and having your arms pointing outwards. The best exercise to tick off all these boxes is the seated bicep curls with your arms out wide. The combination of these 2 bicep exercises will allow you to grow huge biceps in the most effective way possible, so if you do these exercises, you can't go wrong. The next part of your arm is the tricep. The tricep is responsible for the majority of the size of your arm and is made up of 3 heads: the long head, the lateral head, and the medial head. Although there are 3 parts of your tricep, you only need to do 2 exercises to grow all the parts. The first exercise is the tricep extension to target the medial and lateral head of the tricep. This exercise is really effective when done properly, so avoid adding too much weight and ego lifting. To target the long head of the tricep, you should be doing skull crushers lying down. Some people prefer doing standing tricep extensions to target the long head of the tricep, but I prefer doing skull crushers because I find it more comfortable lying down than standing up. And now for the final part of the arm, the forearm. This can be trained by gooning with both arms. No, but actually, you don't really need to train your forearm because most back exercises actually train them effectively through the use of your grip. But if you want some exercises to do, you can do wrist flexions. Now that you know which exercises you need to do to grow some big juicy arms, I'm going to cover when you should be doing these exercises. Now it really depends on your split, but a good rule of thumb is to train your biceps when you train your back, and to train your triceps when you train your chest. The reason for this is simple. When you do an exercise for your back, it passively works your biceps. For example, when you do lat pull downs, your biceps will also passively be trained. So why not train your biceps on the same day? This also goes for your triceps when you train your chest. But again, you could just train your arms independently, which is also fine. It's also important to mention that each exercise should be done between 8 and 12 reps for 3 sets with a 3-minute break in between each set. Except for the skull crushers where you could go a little heavier and do 6 to 8 reps instead. Anyway, that's all for today's video. Please make sure to like and subscribe and comment if you have any other video suggestions, and yeah, I'll see you later.